Talk about how to help somebody who doesn't want help with their mental health. So, all of us know or even have gone through mental health struggles in our lives, or at least like we all definitely know people who have. And a lot of times, mental health can be a really tricky topic to bring up. And a lot of times, a lot of people don't want to get help or scared to get help, or have always been taught since they were young that getting help was weak or they shouldn't do it or whatever. There's just so much stigma. And even without that, going to therapy, going to a psychiatrist can be something that changes your life. And that can be really, really hard to do at times. So I often get questions on, how do I help a loved one that's going through this? And I think that oftentimes people want to, encourage therapy, or you should go to the psychiatrist, or you should do this. But you might notice that instead of helping, that person might be pushing you away. And that is very common, and that's hard to go through as a person who's trying to help. So, one of the first things, or one of the things that I really would say is helpful, is sometimes instead of saying like you should do X, Y, and Z, it's just listening and being there, even sitting in silence with a person who is struggling. A lot of times, whenever we feel helpless or like we can't do more, or maybe that person's not allowing us to help more, that can go such a long way. I think trying to get the person's perspective and understanding them, and maybe even not touching the subject for a while, but more like hearing them out and even talking about your own experiences. Like, so for example, in my life, I've seen, I'm a very vulnerable person. I will talk your ears off about mental health and experiences and even the things that I've like gone through. And I've seen literally with my own eyes how sharing my own story has helped other people open up. So I think oftentimes when we find that place where we can connect as human beings, that connection can go such a long way. And sometimes just listening is the first step. Listening and understanding, why is that person scared? What do they need? What do they say they need? What do they think they need? Just sitting there and understanding and being somebody that they can come to and talk to is so helpful. Because oftentimes when you're struggling and somebody's telling you, you need to get help, you need to do this, you're like, I don't want to hear anymore. I don't want help. I'm not going to get help, right? But if we just take a moment to, instead of just always having that conversation, just listening, being there, being present, hearing them out, connecting with them on things that you have in common, that can really open up the door for them to get help later on. But it's not a like one day to another type of thing. It takes a time to break all those barriers, and so be patient, but listen and be there.